at a Shopware. I've got a Commander 5-tier plastic shelf here. I'm going to show you how to put this thing together and a few tips and tricks about it. Alright, let's get to it. When you get the Commander shelf all taken apart and get all the wrapping off, you have your 5 shelves, all of your poles, and your little accessories. So these are the caps that go on the top, the feet that go on the bottom. These are the little connectors that hold 2 shelves together if you're going to connect them side by side. And then we have a couple of these which go around the pole and then attach to the wall. Add a couple screws there and attach it to the wall if you need to. And then we have our directions. So we're going to start by putting our feet on the bottom shelf, adding our 4 poles, adding our next shelf, repeating all the way up, then adding our caps. Alright, let's see how this goes. First step is getting all these little pieces off of this plastic. I found one of the best ways is to start by taking this part off, by bending the whole thing at once, and then you can either twist or pry to get the rest of these little pieces off. I've got all of the little accessories detached from that piece of plastic. One thing you can do, you can see there's all these little bits that are left over. One thing I would recommend is to take a razor like this and just shave off the little edges, or a knife, something like that to clean it up. So these are the feet. They have this threaded part at the end, which is for these little feet. Actually attach and screw in. And once you've got them assembled, I would recommend screwing them pretty much all the way down. That way it's the most stable, most sturdy position. And then once you have them on, and if you need to adjust the height, then you can unscrew it. But once you have it together like that, I have this, my first shelf upside down. You simply just stick it into the hole. And this is where having a little hammer might be helpful. Rubber hammer. Hit it in there, but really if you just stick it in and kind of twist a little bit, it goes in there pretty nicely. With the feet attached all the way around, all 4, I flipped it over, and now we're going to put the first pole in. So the poles look like this. You'll see this end is a little different with this indented area. So that is the part that we're going to stick into the hole. And then I like to just kind of rotate it around, finagle it a bit, and we'll just repeat for all 4 corners. Once you've got the pole into the hole and you twist it in as far as you can, then it's a good idea to take a hammer like this and just tap on it a bit just to make sure that it is all the way in there. With all 4 poles in place and tapped down with the hammer, I took the next shelf and I just gently laid it on top. Now what you can do is just line up each corner until it goes in, but don't push it all the way in. Just get this tube into the bottom just a little bit. You want to repeat that for all 4 corners, and once you have all 4 corners in, then go back around and tap them down. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3 shelves put together here. I wanted to point out one thing, which is that there is no front or back or left or right or top or bottom shelf. They're all exactly the same. So the orientation of them doesn't matter, which is great. It means that you can't really screw up the placement of them as you're going. You basically just have to make sure you got the top and the bottom right, but that's it. And here we are with all 5 shelves assembled. Not too bad. So one of the last things we're gonna do is put those end caps up here. And then if you have 2 of these, or if you only put them put say 2 or 3 together and then another 2 together, and you want them to be shorter shelves right next to each other, then you add these little pieces and they just slide into here on one side, and then the other one you just butt up against it, slide this into the other one as well. Or if you want them to be back to back, you can use this little guy in there. So in the other last part of the assembly, if you want to, you can secure this to the wall. Put this around, and I would recommend up high. Put this around the pole, put some screws through there and into the wall, and there you go. Hope you found that helpful on how to put this thing together. I've got a video reviewing this shelf as well, talking about the pros and cons and how it compares to some of the others. I've got another video as well showing how this Commander compares to a Craftsman and Blue Hawk and 3 other ones, so 6 total that I reviewed side by side. So if you want to check that out and see how this one compares to those others, be sure and check out that video. I'll put a link to it up top. All right, thanks everybody.